Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. If you enjoy our content, please consider donating and following our socials.
So, there is a phrase that doctors use a lot when it comes to diagnosing a disease.
Yes.
And it's meant to help younger, newer, inexperienced doctors to keep themselves from going down
rabbit holes they probably shouldn't.
They probably shouldn't, and wasting time. And the expression is, don't look for zebras when you should be looking for horses.
Right.
And the zebra, of course, in that case, represents a rare disease, something very unique.
That 1 in a million person gets, or...
Yes, which in some ways is very exciting to a practitioner of medicine. But it's that reminder that you should look for the thing that's more common. Yeah.
Right.
And
I mean, this is the whole concept of Occam's razor.
What's that?
After everything's been eliminated, what remains has to be the truth. No matter how impossible it is.
I like that. Okay.
No matter how impractical it is, once you've removed all other factors.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one you have to go with. I mean, which is more likely that an alien crashed their ship in your backyard, knocking down your tree, or there was a big windstorm last night.
Well, but therein lies how we're going to tie this in to craft.
All right.
Look, everybody loves the supernatural. Everybody loves the idea of the impossible. Everybody wants to find the magic.
Everybody wants to be Harry Potter.
And everybody wants to be special.
Yes. That's what I mean. Everybody wants to be that Harry Potter. They want to be that special kid.
So, we go looking for a lot of zebras.
Yes.
Or we have the potential to look for a lot of zebras. And more often than not, you're right. We have to stop and say, there's probably a horse amongst us.
Right.
So this is also a lot of the logic that goes into debunking things that happen, right? This is the process of ghost hunting.
Right.
You know,
is that noise really a noise, or is it the pipes? You know, old houses have certain noises.
Yeah, for sure. And we get these sorts of things a lot. What's interesting is, though, because humans always tend to be the center of their own universe.
Yeah.
We're very easy to apply this principle to other people, but not ourselves.
True.
Yeah.
So true.
So you can look at somebody else and go, hey, don't go chasing a zebra. It's probably a horse. But then when it comes to you, you're like, oh, no, it's got to be a zebra.
It's got to be a zebra.
No, probably not. Same thing.
No.
So how do we
convince the people that you're actually misplacing your items and you don't really have fairies running around in your house?
How
do we convince that person that, well, I'm sorry, you just had a run of bad luck. Nobody actually put a curse on you.
Right. And this is the problem, though. Sometimes, no matter how much evidence that you bring someone of the horse.
Right. You can stand it right there in front of them.
They still want to believe in the zebra.
But no, I think you sit there and you do all that and they still see a zebra. You're sitting there going, no, it's a horse. No, it ain't. It's a zebra. I see a zebra. Yeah. I see 5 lights.
Yeah. Oh, that was a Star Trek reference for those of you who are not familiar. Lord Knight and I are big fans. Captain Picard will always be our captain.
Yes.
And Next Generation holds a special place in our nerdy hearts. And there is a fantastic episode that involves Picard being captured, tortured, and ultimately sticking to his guns and knowing that what he knows is correct.
Right.
There are four lights. Four lights.
Four lights.
Look up the episode. It's fantastic. It's probably some of Patrick Stewart's best acting.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was...
And it was amazing. It was amazing. And yes, any Star Trek nerd you can look at and go, there are four lights! And they know what you're talking about.
But no, we do have this problem. We do have people that call us up, and they do do this, and we have to talk them off that edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also liken this to, it's catastrophizing. That's another word for it, right?
Right.
People are very prone. Not everybody. Some people are very logical. Good for you. You've got all the earth energy. Congratulations. But some people are catastrophizers. And when we look at that whole look, I have put myself on this chopping block many times. I had a foundation problem with my house, as you well know, right? It's recently been repaired, but when it was first brought to my attention, when I first saw the signs that there was a problem, my tiny person brain went from, oh God, there's a problem with the foundation, to my house is collapsing and I'm going to be homeless and everything I've worked for my whole life is disintegrating in front of me. And it was because I went from 0 to 100 in an instant and saw this pathway that, while possible, is not probable. And so then after, talking to a couple of experts and consulting with people and getting a better understanding, perfectly fixable. Expensive, but perfectly fixable. Not your house is going to collapse, end of the world, right? None of that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand in the moment. Mm-hmm. In the moment, you get the flat tire, you're late for work, the whole 9 yards. I understand it in the moment, but to sit there and persist for weeks and months that this must be when it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Things happen.
I mean, there's also just logical investigation. I keep a group of people around me, you're one of them, who I always say are my logic rocks. These are the people I can turn to when I'm not sure if I can trust my own thought process. And I go, hey, let me run this by you.
Do you think this is weird to do?
Yeah. And have it put through the lens, right? Of someone who is very, very logical, and see what spits out the other side. Because again, while I can do this very well for other people, not necessarily for myself. So I keep my logic rocks close. I'm a water baby. I'm sorry. I know my faults, okay? Okay. So, that's what I do. But likewise, there is that in part of that, process, it's knowing when to seek that out instead of jumping again to the worst case scenario. This is why the Catholic Church only performs an exorcism like once a decade, I think, or something.
Oh yeah, I mean the amount of evidence you have to
Holy
show them
Moses, yes, because they get inundated because everybody's like, oh shit, the house shook, we need an exorcism.
Right.
No. The Catholic Church would legitimately not do anything but exorcisms if that was the case. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not very familiar with them, but I mean, how often do they come out just to bless the house?
They don't. I mean, that's up to the local diocese kind of thing. But there is, and look, the Vatican has investigators. This is their literal job to investigate. They're like the CIA for the Vatican, whose job it is to investigate potential possessions and needs for their intervention.
Right.
And almost all of them are debunked. But again, with us, with craft, people just they go right to it. Like, well, you must be able to do something about this.
Right.
What? Your shitty air conditioning ducts that really need to be cleaned, which is why they're making that awful banging sound.
You know, you need to get the mold out of your walls, and you need to do this stuff first.
Yeah. There's so many things that we just have to use more of our faculties to better deduce, and to not always believe that everything is caused by something.
That you were attacked or for some reason. I mean, do these things happen? Yeah, but I think they're more rare than we.
Once upon a time, I mean, come on, let's look at, microscopic organisms. That's a great example. We can't see it.
No.
So there's loads of illness and disease and things that would afflict people. And because there was no visible sign way back when, it was a supernatural illness. It
right.
was,
I mean, you have to remember, they used to, what was it called? The Japanning, where they would drill a hole into your head to let the demons escape to get rid of the headache.
Oh yeah, I mean that was part of I mean they would yes the bloodlettings, leeches. There were all kinds of
and these were done, and the doctor
practices.
would the quote unquote doctor would sit there. No, this is to get the demons out of you. Mm-hmm. Here, eat this hot sauce. This is to get those demons out. It's to
Yes.
I mean, I know we joke about them, but these practices were done and believed wholeheartedly.
It was very real. People were actually, in some instances, hurting themselves, doing more harm to themselves than not. There's so much lore, right? So many different mythical beings that have been blamed for so many things that have been debunked by science.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? People with psychological problems. I remember in Rome, people who had, where you had the shakes.
Yeah.
The seizures.
Yep.
That was considered a sign of divine touching.
There's so much
and you're like
that.
What?
Yeah. There's so many crazy things that have been attributed to deity or some other, force.
Right. I mean, but when you're sitting there and you're trying to talk to these people that, okay, maybe you're not possessed, maybe you need to go seek out a therapist and maybe be on some medication instead.
What I think is interesting is, again, it's kind of like one of the things that we teach at Life Temple is magic is a last resort.
Yes.
It is after all mundane options have been exhausted.
Right.
So if somebody comes to us and says, my child is possessed. Okay. Have you been to a doctor? It's a checklist. It's like, have you been to a pediatrician? Have you been to a neurologist? Have you been to a psychiatrist? Has medication been used to
right.
all the different, have you been to a therapist? There's so many other possibilities that have to come first. But more often than not, yes, you have an undiagnosed mental illness.
Yes.
In rare cases, extremely rare cases, you have a sociopath on your hands.
Right.
But again, that can be diagnosed with much effort, but still it can be diagnosed. And I mean, that's usually where the buck stops.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, yes, there's a lot of these sorts of things that we have to contend with. I think, too, culturally, when you meet people like, is it Christian Scientists who don't believe in medicine?
Yeah.
They're challenging. They're challenging because culturally they've already been raised to believe that the body and the mind can self-heal and that divine intervention is ever present in our lives and that prayer is the answer. So yes, they go right to a spiritual conclusion every single time. That's very challenging. It's already ingrained in them.
Yes.
There's not much we can do.
But this type of behavior is what leads people to not getting TB taken care of and all this other stuff that will.
Well, the problem is there's always somebody willing to either A, take someone's money,
right,
or B, entertain the idea.
Yeah.
I think as members of craft, we cannot be afraid to say, I'm sorry, but I do not believe that what you are experiencing is of a spiritual nature.
Right.
And I believe you need to take the following steps instead. And that's it. That's it. If in their mind the witches wouldn't help them, so be it.
I mean, it comes down to, how long do you sit there and talk to them and try to convince them? And I mean, we believe the will is the most strongest thing that we have, and if you don't cultivate it, things are going to happen.
It's challenging for sure. It's hard to. It's also difficult to not pass judgment on these people, and that's what we're talking about in part of this, because it can be very easy to just pass a judgment, call somebody crazy, and end
the conversation.
But
what we're trying to do
we're not supposed to do that.
We're supposed to be trying to get these people help.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some of them just don't want. Like you said, they don't want to listen. They want to believe this more than what they hear from us.
Yeah.
Because when you sit there and you say, no, you're probably not cursed, what you really need to learn is how to meditate and maybe go see a therapist.
Yep.
That's not what they want to hear.
No, it's not. Or you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. Not what people want to hear. But these are often the logical courses that need to take place. Yeah. So you can always find a zebra if you're looking for one.
Yeah.
Always.
They're there.
I mean, it's just a painted horse. They're not hard to find. Yeah. But just remind yourself of this.
Yeah.
While you have more coffee.
Yes, more coffee.
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning.